Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Liana Lianov. I'm the founder and president of the Global Positive Health Institute, and welcome to this mini series on the role of meaning, purpose, and spirituality. And I'm delighted to have with us today Dr. Marc Braman. He was the second president of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine and also a former executive director of the college and a longtime colleague and friend. Welcome, Marc.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get to the heart of it, which is what is your core driver, the core purpose of what drives you professionally and personally?
People. That's the summation in a word is people. A little bit more detail is connection and being of service to people, making a difference in their lives, making their lives healthier, but better in all ways.
And then related to purpose, to kind of unpack that a little bit, we are engaged in activities that we find meaningful, or hopefully we find meaningful. That contributes to our well-being. It contributes to others. So what kinds of activities give you that sense of meaning?
Yeah, I guess I'd kind of break those into two. One is personal, one is professional, and they're related. But basically, things that fulfill the number one thing we just talked about is people and helping people. So, on the personal level, we all find richness in life. My patients have told me for many years when I ask them what gives them meaning and purpose, it's their connections. So, personal life, it's definitely the connections, positive, deeper, meaningful connections. In the professional life, in terms of activities, it's things that fulfill that service to people in the real world. Am I making a difference? Are their lives fundamentally better?
So I'm hearing making a difference and making a difference through connection and that unique connection that you bring to others personally and professionally.
Yes.
Yeah. And then how is that what you've just described contributing to your personal well-being?
So my personal well-being, well, it's that connection, that contribution, that participation in the positive flow of life that gives one the sense of fulfillment. So when you get to the end of your day and hey, I did my best to make this world a better place, and you can look back and you say, I made their day brighter and they're better off. It's like, that was a good day.
So what we talk about in positive psychology is this eudynamic kind of well-being, well-being that's based in meaningful connection and doing meaningful activities. And we know the science shows that there's actually emotional, mental, and physical benefits from doing those kinds of activities. Yes.
And in essence, I think the thing that may be important, in essence, it's are we participating in sharing, conveying value? Did we actually care about this other human being? Did they know they were cared about?
That feels good to them, feels good to us. It's a win-win.
It's what we're built for.
We are social creatures.
Yep.
And then for a lot of people, what's also at the heart of what gives them meaning and purpose in life has to do with a sense of being spiritual or having religious beliefs. Can you share a little bit about what spirituality, religion, what role that has in for you?
Yeah, I think, first of all, I think it's weird that we never talk about this in professional circles. It's just a weird thing because this is part of the human experience. It's the deeper, more meaningful stuff. And we've kind of sterilized our professional world, which is just not healthy. So to talk about this, you really have to start to define terms, and we won't get into too much of that, but spiritual is the core of our nature, but it's also our vertical connectedness. Those two are related, but they're different. So it's just important to understand that. And then there's other definitions of the term spiritual. But the easiest way for me is to kind of just tell some pieces of highlights of my journey relative to lifestyle medicine. Middle of second year of college, I leave college. Everybody thinks I'm crazy to go figure out spiritual things for myself. Best thing I ever did. Year and a half later, I'm very providentially directed back to college, which I did not want to do. few months into college, I am very clearly directed to become a physician, which is the one thing I grew up swearing I would never be. I had done no med prerequisites, so I dive in less than 2 years, I've done all 4 years, 4 one-year classes. I've taken my MCAT in the middle of two of those one-year classes, done well, and have gotten into med school, starting med school with no undergrad degree, which is kind of wild. But there's this deep mission, this calling, if you will. And then relative to lifestyle medicine, ACLM got started, went for a few years, and then was swirling down the drain. It was what I was meant to do. So I ended up spending 5 years with no money and no help, 6 months worth of savings that some crazy way lasted all this time, later a little bit of stipend, and creating this lifestyle medicine thing, the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, which has done all these wonderful things now. So, in a sense, lifestyle medicine and ACLM in particular has its foundations in this spiritual journey, at least for me, and how it came to be and why it's here.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And I've known you for so many years, and I didn't know that. And like you said, we oftentimes just don't talk about this connection of
Yeah.
spirituality, religion, life purpose, and in healthcare and medicine, and with colleagues and with patients. And that's why the American College of Lifestyle Medicine is now doing this project to take a closer look at this and to see what we can do to elevate the role of this important element-centered approach, incorporating that into lifestyle medicine and healthcare more broadly. So thank you, and of course thank you for your work in and holding out for those 5 years, because of course on your shoulders others have followed, and of course the movement and the organization has clearly thrived and expanded, and this also then gives us this opportunity to start to look beyond what the initial sort of core focus areas have been in terms of the lifestyle medicine competencies and the pillars, is to start to step back and use these terms of whole health care, person-centered care. I like, and the Global Positive Health Institute, I like the term positive health, which includes all the elements of lifestyle medicine, but also positive psychology, which I define more broadly, that includes meaning, purpose, and spirituality, and then a supportive environment and all those connections, et cetera, that we've been talking about. So it's a Venn diagram where we're all starting to move in on, I think, a center of truth that will really add to individuals' well-being, both the providers and the patients.
Yeah. I think, I've kind of been on my own journey personally and professionally and trying to understand this tangibly, and then how do we operationalize?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so we are very like-minded that way. And so that's why my next and last question, I really would love for you to really dig in to what your thoughts are about what we can do as a next step, as the College of Lifestyle Medicine and the lifestyle medicine community, to start paying greater attention to this area of individuals' lives. What are some, maybe some of it is based in theory, but also I'm always a practical person. Are there some practical things we can do while the research is ongoing? We need more research, of course, about the role of this, especially for physical outcomes and beyond. But what can we do now? We don't want to ignore this important area.
Absolutely. Um, for context, I agree with you. I love research. We need more research. However, I think we kind of need to get a bit out of that box of thinking something doesn't exist until we have research proving it does. If we just step back and we look at the human experience across time and history, it's obvious, it becomes obvious as we look how we humans work. And that spiritual dimension is this huge, important, deep, meaningful thing, regardless of what we have done with it in today's space, and to start from that place. So how to apply this? I've been using this in my history, my intake with my patients for many years, asking them about this domain and what gives them meaning and purpose in their life. And it's markedly consistent. East Coast, West Coast, United States, remarkably consistent. People 95% of the time say that their meaning and purpose comes from their connections. So they put it in terms of their people, in terms of their God, higher power, meaning, purpose in that bigger sense. That's 95%. Or you can talk about fulfillment. That's kind of a different meaning and purpose in what we do. But in terms of lifestyle medicine, I find the question almost funny as to how can we fit this in or make this work. It's we talk about behavior, behavior change, behavior change, behavior change. Well, where did the behaviors come from? How can we talk about the behaviors without talking about where they come from? Which is behaviors come from our emotions, our mental, and our spirit, our being, spiritual. They're just a fruit, they're just a product. And it's kind of like talking about behavior in isolation is like saying, well, apples come from the grocery store. Well, kind of, yeah, but kind of not really. We kind of need this bigger picture and see the fuller reality. And then we can talk about why we're getting these results. So this behavior change focus in lifestyle medicine is a bit like fingernails on the chalkboard for me. It's okay, yes, but let's look beyond the grocery store, please. And can we really do this whole person thing, which at core, our spirit, our being, our who, is our core. It's the biggest, strongest driver. It's who we are that we're manifesting in our behaviors. Yes, there's mental and emotional too, but we got to deal with the whole ball of wax. And
Yeah,
as you can
well
tell, I'm
said.
passionate about this.
Yeah, I love that analogy of the apple in the grocery store. Um, and we can certainly come up with lots of reasons why medicine has kind of tried to evade those complexities of humanity because, of
Yeah,
course, in medicine, we're taught early on, make it very straightforward, achieve complaint and move on down. What are you going to recommend? What are you going to prescribe? Move on to the next patient.
fast food, healthcare.
Exactly.
That's what it
So,
is.
yes, and that hasn't worked for us. And so
Wonder
hence,
why.
yes, hence why we're so passionate about the lifestyle medicine movement and this holistic medicine movement to really revolutionize healthcare to make a real difference in people's lives.
Yes,
So, uh, well, thank you so much for joining this mini series on meaning, purpose, spirituality. Any final last
absolutely.
words, Mark?
Let's go help people. Real whole people.
I love it. Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Marc Braman, and thank you to our listeners. I hope you'll join for another one of these segments on meaning, purpose, and spirituality. Check out and please subscribe to the Global Positive Health Institute's YouTube channel, where you find this and many other wonderful videos related to these kinds of topics. And take care, be safe, be well. Bye-bye.